John Hipsher with YakAttack. We are at ICAST 2022, and something we've been working on for a long time. We're going to start kind of producing hot and heavy here in the next couple, maybe about the next 6 months to the next year. We're going to go nice and hard in the aluminum Jonboat market, kind of these utility boats, kind of with boats like G3, Lund, Crestliner, Gator Tail, Low, Tracker, and there's a whole other slew of boats that have this nice T-slot built into the gunnels. The one thing with this G3 is there's not an entrance point at all into this gunnel, and what we developed a number of years ago was what we called the turnkey mounting system. And what's kind of unique about it is the problem with this market is that all the brands are just so ever slightly different with this track. There's no uniformity. So if we made a bolt that simply just goes in the track and then locks into the top lower and upper of that track, it would work. But the problem is every single brand deviates so incredibly hard. So what we did is we basically put these track teeth in there. So once this is in the track, it will always stay locked at a 45. So it doesn't matter how wide the inside of that track is, as long as it has that overhang. Once you put it in that track, it's not coming out. You've got to completely remove it to be removed from the track. So once that turnkey system goes in, all you got to do is tighten it. And that gives you a nice, flat, horizontal surface for a whole slew of rod holders, something here like a torqeedo throttle mount, depending on if you run that electric motor, or anything from fish finder mounts, cup holders, camera mounts. And then really the sky's the limit. So that just gives you kind of a basic, simple T-slot on that vertical surface, so you can simply slap down any of our lock and load mounting system products, and then really make the boat your own. Maybe one day you're going out catching catfish. Maybe one day you're spider rigging for some crappie. This system allows you to truly utilize what this boat was designed for. It's got roughly 16, maybe 18 total feet of track on this boat, and at least in the kayak space where I come from, that's easy to use and make it yours. Make it fit my boat, how I like to fish, how I like to rig. So that's going to be our turnkey mounting system. And then here within probably the next 6 months, you'll start to see kind of an influx of some new Jonboat accessories.
So what if you don't have the T-track built into your gunnel?
That one's a mix of, you got to install track. But the problem is, not every boat is nice and flat. It's got a round gunnel, and the gunnel's so incredibly narrow that we don't have like a gunnel clamp or anything yet. So that's something that to me is kind of the gatekeeper for hitting the mass market, is going to be some sort of gunnel clamp. But right now, at least for us with YakAttack, we started out as a kind of a lighting company, being the VisiCarbon being the first product. But where we really kind of excelled was mounting systems. And so the track, we changed the whole kayak fishing industry, or how kayaks were even sold, all the way from wreck boats to touring boats, everything, with companies all the way from Jackson to Eddy Line, utilizing track where they can now sell a blank slate, and then the customer rigs it. But in the majority, I would say, at least the YakAttack, the orange track right there, and we make it in black, is the most widely used track in paddle sports by linear feet. And what that did in paddle sports was it created conformity, and everything was uniform. So if you buy a track mounted accessory, everything except the Joy Sports family, which is like Feel Free and Big Waters and Johnny Boat, it's gonna work. So maybe down the road we'll see that, at least in this market with the boats that have the T-slot. But for us, that was at least the closest adjacent market to say, hey, we're track people in what we do. I fish. I'm a lifetime fisherman. Previously, I've enjoyed fishing from a kayak because I was a broke college kid, and when I picked it up, about 10, 12 years ago. So this market, there's a whole lot of opportunity from, the guys fishing for walleye with all the Lund boats and Crestliners up, in the Midwest and in the North. So, something like this, just being that great utility boat that if I'm a family with one boat, I can hunt out of this. And, whether it's gun mounts, whether it's, easy, easy pouches for having duck decoys and other just space and storage for being a utility boat, that track gives you a lot of options. But even something like this, they want you to take that little pilot drill and drill in a hole to put in a carriage bolt. I don't want to do that. This thing was only, I think, 16, 17 grand with the 9.9. I don't want to do that. We got guys in these boats that they don't even want to drill into that $16,000 piece of plastic. It's very easy to repair. So, for us, starting at least with the track, but it's going to evolve much greater to the other markets of me and Jeff from Torqeedo, we outfitted, I think it was a topper, it was the cheapest tracker you could buy. And he put the travel motor on it, and that thing, he just loaded it in the back of his pickup truck. So for a $900 boat, we made that a fun little electric only craft. But that was one where, simple, easy install, but we did install our GT175 aluminum track straight to, the support beams going in the middle and the seats, and to where you could then have all sorts of gear. But that one does take a little permanent modification, so at least the track, a lot more people are comfortable with just that easy add-on rather than that permanent, modification. So if you want to find out more, follow us. Find us at yakattack.us.